Hi, this is my little tutorial on the Wayfair Taquasha Night Stand. Here are the materials I got together beforehand: a Phillips screwdriver. I have a pair of scissors to open little packages. I also grabbed a glove just in case. It did come in handy. And the Allen wrench comes with the package. And then, of course, the assembly instructions. First, this was the most intimidating part for me, was putting on the sliders for the drawers. So first I have to take them apart. There's a little handle, little button guy that you push down, and then you can slide the smaller piece out of the larger piece. You're going to first be starting with that larger piece. And then after they have you do that, number 2 is to put in the pins in all of these boards they have labeled here. That's the letter C pins. They get screwed in, and you'll need your Phillips screwdriver for that. You're going to put them on each of the panels that are labeled in the instructions. It goes along the edge of where that line, that nodule or is, and then you, again, you'll need the Phillips screwdriver, and make sure to screw it in so that the very bottom bit is flat with the actual board. And make sure that it is like perpendicular with the board, so no sideways. Make sure it goes down, straight down, and do that for each of the places indicated in the assembly. Make sure that they're well tightened. So in the end, you'll have all of these boards with the pins in them. This is the screws F for putting in the sliding part of the drawers. So make sure that you take care to align the little point that you'll be putting the screw into those with the holes. So you'll have to move the lever a little bit so that you can reveal the hole on that side. And then it does take a little bit of moving around. Remember, oh yes, and this part in the instructions, it looks like it goes all the way over to that line, that indented line, but it does not. So that was one of the parts where I got a little bit concerned. I was like, that doesn't look right, but trust me, I already put the first one together, so this is how it will go. Now I'm screwing in gently. Well, actually with a little bit more force, because there's not like an already created hole. You have to kind of like get through the particle board with this one. I started with the smaller Phillips screwdriver, ended up grabbing my larger one for better traction, like weight. Remember not to screw it all the way in. You should be able to still move around the black piece so that you can adjust. So make sure to screw in a little ways, halfways, and then move down. So you can see I can wiggle it still and move it and adjust it. So move down to the other one, screw a second screw in a little ways, and then go adjusting. That will ensure that you have correct alignment. Again, this was my first time putting together something like this, and I was nervous that I had to be super exact, but as long as you're following along with the things that are already indicated, it goes really well. And again, just be careful not to just screw in one screw all the way, because then it will be misaligned, and the metal will even bend. So this part you do have to go gradually between the 2 screws, and you'll have a good outcome if you do it that way. Then once you do, so you have 3 on one board, and you'll have 3 on the next board. The smaller piece you don't use until the very end. So also these metal pieces have silicone on them, so in order for them to slide. So I just had them sitting on some of the plastic that the packaging came in to avoid getting silicone everywhere. Here I am showing you how it lines up again. So there's the little divots, I guess we could call it, and it's aligned with the first circle on that end. And again, there's a lot of space from that long divot of the board. Now we're moving on to step 4, it looks like. Yes, this is where we put the 2 side panels together with the bottom panel. This is where your cams are going to come in. The cams, this was also something intimidating for me. The cams you'll use to put together with the pin. So you're going to slide the little small panel 5 onto those pins you've already placed. And then you grab the cams. And notice where, this is package D. Notice where you have, look at the cam well, you'll see there's like a little arrow. That arrow needs to be facing where the pin is. So there you'll see, there it focuses. Where that arrow is, that goes facing the pin in the direction that the pin is in. So you slide it on, should be able to kind of push on easily. There it's got pushed in. Now you'll take the Phillips screwdriver and you'll turn it clockwise about a quarter turn. Because I was holding the camera, it was a little bit not as smooth there. So yeah, you can see now that the arrow is pointing down when at first it was pointing to the right. And here I carry on by doing the same on the other side with the other panel. And we have some lovely sea scenes in the background. I was watching some documentary while putting together this lovely piece of furniture. So here you'll see and the other thing that was really helpful was having everything on a blanket. There's a lot of like particle board, dust and things, and like the silicone, it just felt like I was protecting the floor and the carpet from all of that. So here we are again. You'll see exactly where the pen is, and that arrow needs to go facing where the pin is. You push it in, and then you'll use the Phillips screwdriver to turn clockwise. I can't quite see because my arm is in the way, but that's fine. Pretty simple. Now once that's together, you're going to use these screws and this like little wooden nodule things to put together the bottom. So letter H, these are these little wooden pieces that you're going to place into the panels to kind of support the placement. This is wrong. Because this is for the bottom. That's for the top, so don't worry about that. But yes, you'll need these larger screws from package E, I think it said. And it goes on to panel 3. Those are the 4 wooden pieces. And I determined the best way to do all this, and the assembly instructions does not show it this way, but I flip it all over. so that I can have access. And yeah, that's how you place little wooden pins. Here is panel 3. Make sure to align it correctly. So I'll go right down onto those wooden pieces, and then you can place the 6 larger screws. This is the part that was the toughest on my hand because they're a pretty large screw. They're very tight, and I was working with the included very small Allen wrench to tighten these in, and the Allen wrench is letter L. And my goodness, you can tell how small it is, but make sure to go through and gradually, screw each one in a little ways so that it's even and balanced. It takes some time. This is probably one of the harder parts of this project, was doing this part. This is where I used the glove. I only had a left-handed glove available, but it did help my hand for sure. So if your hand starts to hurt while assembling, use a glove. Finally we got them all in tight, very tightened down, no exposing screws or anything like that. Eventually we're going to be turning this guy over, but not yet, because we're going to put the legs on. And the legs are pretty simple and straightforward. There's my kitty. She's accompanying me. So you're going to take the A screws to put together the legs. Here you can hold on the screw on one side and twirl the support there onto it, but really don't tighten it all the way. You do want it like as loose as I'm showing you there, so that you can adjust it accordingly in just a little bit. So now you'll put on the other side screw, and this one I just screwed with my hand instead of twirling it. But yeah, it needs to be aligned, and then you'll screw until it's still a little bit loose, so you can adjust. And then I will tell you what you need to do at that next step, because when I first made the first one, put the first one together, I made a mistake and had to go back. So I think now, yes. So we're going to tighten, but make sure here that hole is pointing up, because if it's to the side, you're not going to be able to screw it down onto the actual panel. So make sure it's facing up. And now we'll just tighten both those sides. But again, make sure that middle piece doesn't spin, and make sure that you have the hole facing up. And then you're ready to attach it to the bottom panel. Yes, so you're going to use the Allen wrench again. Oh, here's some cute little pads for the corners. These just twist on really easily. And then, yes, so these are the B screws that will go in each of these holes. And you'll need to turn the Allen wrench. And you might need to use the short side of the Allen wrench, as it kind of gets in the way kind of hits the sides. But yeah, I went through and just tightened as much as I could with my fingers first, and then use the Allen wrench to tighten them up. Now it's very sturdy. I'm very impressed by this product in general. just need to say it's very well made and feels good. It feels sturdy. Now we'll put in that back panel, panel 7. Make sure the white side is facing out. And the brown side is facing inward. So here we go. Push it down gently. It should go into the slot. You might need to kind of move a little bit to make sure that it gets into the slot okay. This is step 9, putting on the top piece. You're going to need those wooden pins again to put in the top, to the holes in the middle. Second holes in. And then, yeah, these are pretty simple. Let's place them in. And then, yeah, you'll grab your panel 8 that already has the pins in it, and you'll place them right on top. Align them correctly. And make sure that that slot piece hits that back side. There it is, it's on. Now we're going to use the cams again. Remember to align the arrow with the pin. So this time the arrow is facing up. Push that guy in. And then you'll use your Phillips screwdriver to turn it clockwise. One good little turn there, yep. And then you can see there's some gap, so I'm going to be fixing that. There's some gap there. So I had to pause the video and I pushed down on the back there. Pushed that down to snap it down into place, and now there's no gap. And then I'm going to finish up with the cams, turning them. And then there we go. We have our nice nightstand. Now we just have the 3 drawers to put together. Step 10 is putting together the sides of the drawer. Those are the numbered panels that you need. 12 and 10 are the sides, and then the 11 is the back. And I'm aligning those divoted sides. They need to be aligned because that's where you're gonna like place the panel. That's the bottom of the drawer, so that all needs to align correctly. Yep, that's how you will use your screws. Put the screws in to create the sides, the back and the 2 sides of the drawer. And here's the panel. Make sure that the white side is facing up so that you have a nice, beautiful inside of the drawer. And yeah, it doesn't, I remember that even my first time making these, the panel felt a little bit strange, but it did like kind of really go together once I put the front piece on. So yeah, kind of got to move it around a little bit to kind of wiggle it a bit to get it into the slot so it's fitted correctly. But definitely when you're using the front panels, when you put those on, it will firm it up and really like push it together. So yeah, this is looking good. You have to do it 2 more times, and then you'll put on your front facing beautiful panel. First, it asks you to put the handles on, so you'll need the J screws, it looks like. Yes, the J screws to put the handles on. You'll see 2 tiny divots on the back. There they are. That's where you'll connect the handle. You'll need the cams again for attaching that front piece drawer, part of the drawer. And here I'm demonstrating how I place the handle And now it's, boom, I already put those screws in. So here we go, adding on that front piece. The pins go in, make sure it's aligned. And then we'll put in the cams. Now this time it's going, looks like it's going up from the way that I have it positioned there. And then I'll turn and lock. And these nightstands are quite heavy too for moving around on your own. Yeah, they're sturdy. And yeah, I definitely need to maybe ask for help for moving them. I ended up moving them around my house on my own, but probably better to have two people. And then also you'll eventually want to take off all those stickers that are visible. So it looks nice. Here we are tightening the cams. And we've got drawer number 1. Now you can do this 2 more times and you'll have all 3 of your drawers. Beautiful. Oh, those divots are for the outside of the drawer. Yep. For the piece, the black piece on the outside. So here we go. This is the last step, basically. Putting on the smaller piece. So, yep, you're going to want to align. There's a little circle, and then there's like an oval shape, and you're going to align those with the divots in the side of the drawer. Yep, there's like a little, so make sure that it's like the open end on that end, and then the one that's closest to the front of the drawer is the closed end. So yeah, again, you're making sure to put the circle and the oval shape. Here's the little circle, open end. I call this the closed end because it kind of has like a little piece of metal that is at the very end, and yeah. So again, be so careful here in how much you're screwing in before you start to screw in the other side. So only go a little like halfway on both sides and do it gradually. And you'll be needing to kind of manipulate it a little bit, like moving it around slightly. Really want it to be straight because it's going to go right into its partnered part on the inside of your drawers. Yep, see here, you can tell I'm like, please do it that way. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. There we go. What? And bam, all 3 drawers are done. Yep, there we go. So you're going to just push them kind of a little forcefully. At first, it feels a little strange. It's like it doesn't want to go in. And then when you do put it in, it feels like you're kind of forcing it. But then when you push it back out and pull it back out and push it back in, it feels better. And yeah, so there we go. Our first drawer. This whole process took me about doing it on my own and figuring out everything on my own 2 hours. Yeah, and here we are, finished product. Very beautiful. Definitely feels like quality. I'm so pleased. They fill up the spaces next to my bed really well. It has great height, great surface area. It looks beautiful. Yeah, here I'm taking out some of them stickers that, yeah, will just take away from the aesthetic if left on. So yes, I'm very pleased with the product. I am excited to have closed drawers that I can organize. Feels very sturdy. It's very, and again, like I said, it's heavy. yeah, it just feels really nice. It's a really solid piece of furniture. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I will.